All right, I want to share today a secret um, about why Nadam and Avihu died this year. Apparently, Parasha Shemini blew my mind, and there's so many insights from this strange story on Nadav and Avihu who were so holy and they died, and but really was Kiddush Hashem. Hashem said they were the greatest, then why they died. So, on top of everything that we discussed already before, I wanna point out that this very powerful lesson of is connected actually to the fact that the danger of looking at Judaism as just a religion, as a way of worshiping God, as opposed to look at it also as a relationship, and looking at it as something that is very human and that needs to be used in a way that is not just something spiritual that we can barely explain and relate to. So really, there's something amazing here. Nadav and Avihu teach us that from the Mishkan and on, it could have happened also before. It happened at some point with Enosh also, kind of. But basically, human being could create a structure like the Mishkan, the temple, and actually perform a service to do to enter into a spiritual action that will zap you, that will be so powerful that you die from it. Meaning that you're going to do something and God is going to react on the spot. God sends the fire, they get burned. This is something that can happen today also. It will be only very, 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 very rare because almost no one is on that level. Probably no one is on that level, but it's possible that it could be individuals who could be zapped also like that. All the warnings about learning Kabbalah before 40 years old without knowing enough comes from that. The danger or just being completely disconnected from this world, and once your soul goes up and get that spiritual experience, it doesn't want to come back. So that's a little bit the story of Nadav and Avihu. Nadav and Avihu is the first lesson, strong lesson about that point, that be careful in your spirituality, be careful in your love of God and love of the spiritual world, because you're going to lose it, and you're going to almost lack respect for God. It's like you love someone so much that you start breaking boundaries. There's too much chesed, it's not enough gvura, not enough yira, and therefore you become too familiar. You start talking to your wife or to your husband or to your parents it's your best friend. That can be not being appropriate with certain things. So that's a lack of yira, and that's a little bit what happened to Nadav and Avihu. Nadav and Avihu are so in love with God, so connected to spirituality, and they got zapped. So yes, they were greater in a way than Moshe and Aaron, like Rashi said, because like the Chumash, like Moshe says, because they were on such a level of spirituality. But they were greater in that sense of maybe total purity, but that was not the goal. The goal is we're still in this world, we still have to live a life where we stay connected to the physical, because then if you're not connected to the physical, there's nothing to do. So what's happening is that we see it's happening again and again in history. First thing that happened, obviously, we go always back to the beginning with Adam HaRishon. Adam HaRishon was crazy in love with God, and he didn't want to wait. Knowledge of good and evil, eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Adam said, yes, if I eat that, I'm going to understand God on such a high level. I'm going to become one with Him. I'm going to understand good, evil, God, no God, spirituality. and say, I want to experience that. And then he entered it, and then boom, he felt he was not ready for it, and he went into a world where it's like he distanced himself, like you come too close and boom, you are pushed like an electroshock. And that's actually very interesting, because it speaks in the Midrashim or in Tanakh that the angels come back and forth. It goes back and forth, closer to the light, but then not too close to get eliminated, so to speak, disappear and come back. And also that's the same idea that we should not to come too close to the sages or too close to God, because you can get burned yourself. So what's that burning about? What is that intensity that's so dangerous? So it started with Adam HaRishon. And also Adam HaRishon made the same mistake with his wife. He was supposed to wait till Shabbos to marry his wife, and he didn't wait. He was zapped by the love that he wanted. I want to get married right away. Let's do it now. The moment of passion and intensity. Too much chesed. We have the same thing with the Mishkan, where it's Nadav and Avihu, but it's connected to the Mishkan, obviously. And then we have the same thing with Shlomo HaMelech, who finish. By the way, they're all most of the time, them 6, 7, or 7, 8. Adam HaRishon was the 6 days of creation, right? He was entering the 7, and he zapped the thing, and therefore he fell on the 8th. He fell, meaning he went back to Yom Rishon. With Nadav and Avihu, the Mishkan, there was 7 days of celebration, and Yom HaShemini, the 8th day, boom, that's where they fell. Same thing with Shlomo HaMelech. It took him 7 years to build the temple, the Beit HaMikdash. And what happened? On the 8th, basically the completion of 7, and going on the 8th, boom, he drank so much wine. I mean, not so much wine. He drank wine, and he was so happy that he decided then to marry on that night the daughter of Pharaoh, and says that at that moment, the Midrash says, the Beit HaMikdash is going to be destroyed, because of the way he had, there was a lack of Gvura, the lack of Yira. He had come too close to the externality of the world in his love to unite everything. Then we have the 7 weeks of the Omer, which is 7 weeks, and then Har Sinai. And what happened at Har Sinai? Right away, right after, boom, 8th level, Chet HaEgel, right? So much love, so much passion, and they couldn't be without God, without Moshe. They had to have a connection, and then out of that panic of love, with passion and spirituality, they made the Chet HaEgel. We do also, I think it's connected with the chuppah. We go 7 times, the concept of 7 in the chuppah, but the last step, the last thing we do is we break the glass. We remind ourselves, well, there's love, but careful. Don't lose the yira. Don't lose the connection to Hashem. Don't lose the idea of the Beit HaMikdash, that we're not there yet. This limit your ahava and yira. And last idea is the 7 days of Nida, that the Parasha right after Tazria, Kisazria, the woman is Nida for 7 days. She becomes Tameh, and then right after number 8, Bris Milah. Bris Milah is there's a bris, meaning boom, we cut something, this blood, bechai, bedomai chai. There's a limitation to. There's a stop there, a clear stop. Obviously, 8 is the number of transcendence. It's like telling us, whoa, careful, number 8 is not for this world. Each time you enter 8, you're in danger zone, because yes, you have to be lemala min hateva, yeah, beyond the laws of nature, but when you live on that level, you might lose everything. And number 8 is the world of Olam Haba. So right now we're in the world of the cycle, balance between physical and spiritual. But if you go beyond the balance of physical and spiritual and you become completely spiritual, and too much love, too much unity, you're going to lose yourself and you're going to burn out. So this is a very important danger in our Judaism, in our life, where we too excited, too in love with something that we lose a balance. And it's the most dangerous in spirituality. So we are supposed to be God's wife, God's woman. The world is supposed to be that vessel to connect to God, and we need to become ourselves. What's a real woman? A real woman is a woman who builds herself, who becomes fulfilled and find her own personality. Real unity is not becoming battle in the sense that I'm nullify myself completely and I do what you do, I think what you think, and I don't think on my own anymore. No, that's not real love, real marriage. A real marriage is I bring my own personality, I bring my own opinion, I bring my own thing, and together we merge. If one individual in a marriage doesn't have that, then it's just echoing the other, and it's not a real unity. It's a merging, it's a fusion, but it's not that is not real love. And that's maybe the idea of chesed and gvura. We need the chesed. It's not chesed and chesed. It's chesed and gvura brings tiferet. So they have two opposite forces. And you need the chesed and the gvura. You can't have the chesed and the chesed. You can't have a man and a man, a woman and a woman. You bring two things that are similar. You need two completely different entity, God and man, woman, physical, spiritual. Only then can you start have what's really called Yechud, Hashem, unity and oneness. So we have to build ourselves. We need to. We need to understand that sometimes it's a kind of escape. What we do, we want to be just spiritual and we don't deal with the world. We become like completely disconnected, separated. Although there is an avoda to separate oneself from the physical or that has to be very temporary because we need to be involved in the world. We need to elevate the world. This is what's unique about Judaism as opposed to other religions. It's not just about spirituality, it's about creating the balance and elevating the physical. So the moment I'm thinking I made it, I reached a stage, I accomplished enough, which happened with Yaakov. Right at the moment Yaakov says right in Parashat Vayeshev, Yashev settled, all of a sudden Yosef is taken. Each time we feel I'm there, I'm good, meaning I'm connected to God, I'm good there, I'm one. Hashem says, no, you got it all wrong. If you want the reason you're here is for a constant struggle, a process, and sometimes a hard process, but that process is necessary to become yourself. Until Olam Haba, you have to be actively destroying evil, and yes, it's hard to be able to. It's hard not to be able to be in that constant love and that constant passion. We want to be constantly in love, constantly inspired, and constantly on a very holy level. But if we're constantly like that, and we disconnect completely from the world, then we're not able really to achieve our own identity. Our galus, our exile is really what enables us to give us our own identity and transform us into react really to the process. The pregnancy of a mother allows her already to have a whole connection to the child and to let herself become a mother, to discover that she's a mother, that she has it will happen all of a sudden in one day, that the baby comes out, which actually is what's going to happen in Gan Eden, which is the level of complete spirituality. Everything happens like that. Then if we experience that in this world, we won't be able to connect. There's no me, there's no you. So through the process, through the galus, we're able to develop that identity. So in our relationship with people, we need to put a fence. We need to put. That's why Israel, we speak about the Torah. The Torah needs a fence, not just because we have to protect it, but because there's so much love in Torah. We have to learn to create a fence that we keep a yira. And that around Har Sinai, we have a boundary. Hashem says, I want you to come, I want to see me, but careful, don't climb the mountain at that moment, you're going to be zapped. The love can be so intense. And we experienced actually at Har Sinai where everybody got, the neshama got zapped and attached themselves to Hashem. And Hashem had to revive us. It was to show us, and in a way, that's why Hashem said, when the Jews say, no, we don't want to speak to you, Hashem, we're scared. Moshe Rabbeinu speak to us, he say, okay, it was good what they said. Because although we want to come close to Hashem, if we don't recognize that if we're on that level, we're going to be zapped, then we're going to lose everything. We're not going to be able to do our mission. We're not going to be able to be a light into the nation. And we're not going to be able to elevate ourselves and become a real woman, a real wife with a real identity. It's the problem of a woman who is home and is constantly, who has nothing to do. That's the worst thing. The halakha is it's better that she should go work or find a career or something, because she has no identity. It's not going to work. She's not going to be happy. We all need our identity, and us, the Jewish people, as by being Hashem's wife, all the more so we need to work on that identity. So all this to say is that when we are truly in love with someone, we have to be right away careful about not zapping, about not breaching the barrier, the respect and the honor with our parents, even with our best friends. The more you're going to love someone, the more you have the potential to ruin everything, to go too far, to go too fast. You have to create boundaries. You have to Gvura, you have to create Yira. You have to be. Those are the people you need to honor the most. And in our spirituality, in our work on becoming religious or staying religious or staying inspired, we have to realize that we need to create a balance. We can't be religious fanatics. And it's the same way with all the Jews in the world who are so extreme. For them, everything that is not physical, that is not spiritual, anything that is not Jewish, and is evil. So non-Jews are evil, and any desire for the world you have evil. And that's very dangerous, because it's a more Christian concept. It's a more Buddhist concept. That has nothing to do with Judaism. Judaism is a relationship, and the relationship is I take everything I feel, I take every part of my life, and this I use it. I use those desires, I use my physicality to serve God, to be close to God. I use it in my spirituality, which is the whole challenge of Shabbat, learning to make that balance, that harmony. All right, so I want to just finish with reiterating the original thought, which is crazy, that we as human beings, we can become so holy that you can zap yourself. That's how powerful we are. You can zap yourself, you can bring God down, and that's who we are. That's the being that we are. We're such a powerful soul. We're capable of so much. Our soul is bigger than the universe, although your body doesn't even exist scientifically because you're so small compared to the universe. That's the human being, and the Jewish people all the more so. So I hope you enjoy and learn the lesson of tremendous passion but a passion that is always balanced with a lot of yira. Shabbat Shalom.